Late September 2025 with the Lovelocks of Sunninghill. Rough cut photo trails and video clips. Yes, it will be pretty rough. I'll start with the standard introduction. This is where we live at 22 Armitage Court in Sunninghill, with warning signs about fierce guard cats. Toady is one of them. You may even pick up a QR code there. And this has been known as Robin's Corner from the late 1980s, where GPS was tested on this spot, just down here. And there's the garden sculpture that June got Robin as a birthday present a few years ago. There's the oak tree that sprung up from an acorn. Yes, we've got lots of acorns everywhere. And this is getting into late September now. Everything's coming into lovely flower. Here's the robot boat, Snoopy's robot boat across the Atlantic. And there's Snoopy the Viking. And I've just noticed a vehicle's arrived. It might be a courier, possibly with the mosquito zappers. Yeah, so problems to be sorted on the robot boat, but that's all on the various photo trails. And just recently I've been consulting some AI machines. Right, this is June's car with promotion of the website gpss.co.uk. that was a business many decades ago. It is now hobbies like the robot boat and charitable causes. So coming down drive here, yes, these are projects like the bicycle not yet working, and the cat forts done several years ago now. Yeah, warning signs everywhere, including armed mice, not just cats. Yes, so that's probably enough of that for the moment. And coming towards the front door, here's the camper that was used for taking Snoopy's robot boat down to the coast, and June and Samantha had a holiday for a few days in it down in Cornwall. Yes, here's the battle damage. June said Robin did it. Robin said the wall did it, but the wall is okay. Now, before we go into the house, I've got to point out a few warning signs, and I must hasten to add these are just jokes, because you know what people will say. Anyhow, so we come down and it says closed circuit TV, hidden TV cameras inside and outside this house. Sound and video is monitored in local houses and elsewhere. No trespassing. Violators will be shot. Survivors will be shot again. Just a joke, of course. Yes, cameras everywhere. Lots of them. Now, that's the flatulent fairy. Was to go on up a tree. It might go up a tree next Christmas. What else have we got? Yes, peanuts everywhere for various wildlife. Peanut feeder, that was recently fixed. And yes, another camera down there. Gnomes. Now, these signs are probably the most important. That's my study in there. And do not disturb. I'm disturbed enough already. And maybe this sign, from a health and safety point of view, is the most important of the lot. Home of mad ex-NATO scientist Robin Lovelock, beware of web cameras and water squirters loaded with water, paint, acid, DNA tracer or nerve agent. Robin would not be mad enough to test these, or would he? Just a joke, of course. Right, I think it's safe to go into the house now, so let's try doing that. And yes, tennis gear. You can see the time, it's just coming up to 12 o'clock British Standard Time. And quick glance into the kitchen, and June watching tennis on the television just for a change. Yes, that was a big breakthrough, putting in these skylights and these temporary mirrors. That was some time ago now. So this is the kitchen. So now go through. We haven't got to where the real work was done, which was the end of the garden. Yes, doing this on the smartphone because I haven't got a suitable camera and I don't like big clunky ones. So going into the lounge here. Yes, there's Robin's naughty corner where he relaxes, nice furniture, perhaps to have a snack and look at the closed circuit TV. Yes, that was very cheap from a scrapyard, I think, £5. Anyhow, well, tip. Yes, so here is, we've got a cheap PC driving the TV and it's tracking me at the moment, so there we go. You can zoom in, but there's Sunninghill, where we are in Sunninghill. Now, so the lounge hasn't really changed very much, but now I'm going to go into the garden, and where we've done most of the work is down the end. But a few little projects have come along. There's still experimental work going on here. Yes, mosquito zapper, because they're a problem. Now, the pond is filling up at the moment, which is a regular daily ritual. And it's during the winter that we can work seriously on it. But this is a project which is pretty well done now, which is the little Brussels peeing boy. And I think we've got the electrics and everything else about right now. And that reminds me of my trips to NATO headquarters in Brussels in the 70s. Anyhow, that is the top pond. And of course, when it's filled up, and of course, hopefully, all the rainwater comes off the roof and down into it, over there. And yes, there's a concrete lady fountain. And then it overflows into this pond. It's still got a way to go, yeah, because I only set it going half an hour ago. Overflows and goes down the stream. Yes, that's the telescope that I built the optics for as a boy, and no time to do any work on that. There's wild fennel from Sicily. We brought some cuttings back, and not important ingredient. Now I'm coming down the garden. You may have seen this in the more recent photo trail, but yes, so that's to make it a bit easier to go down the steps. There's the hose running from round the side of the house. So I may as well show a glance of this, because these videos are very much for people into property maintenance. It shows things how not to do them when I make mistakes, but also that some things are very simple. And that's where the electrics, including the car battery and things, are for the driving the pumps. So that's around this side. Load of tidying up needed. But right, this is the second pond, and we did a bit to make a progress of cutting this, and that was Samantha and June helped, and part of it was where I had a bit of an accident because this hadn't been made secure enough, and luckily Samantha was there to help me untrack myself. Right, we're coming down now. Yeah, flowers, of course. June's roses, even if you cut them back earlier in the year, they rather obstructing my sundial, but not to worry. You can hear a pigeon in the background, I think. So we're about to go down into the area where real progress has been made. So past the Gunnera manticata, which is the only surviving one we have in the garden at the moment, down into what is a lovely place to sit and relax, particularly in the evening. And you can see the wildlife and the birds and everything. This morning, when I was just checking things out, yes, this will fill up. I found that I think it was a fox. Normally we worry about pigeons, so yes, look at that mess there. Now, the cameras aren't all working, but that's my suspicions, it was a fox. Yeah, so this is coming along very nicely. We've got bulbs planted here, which will be things like bluebells. We've got plenty of scope for putting primroses, and of course the sky has been opened up. We could do more, so particularly when the sun comes across the sky, then this becomes quite a sunny spot, so quite a lot of plants will grow. Most of the plants that we've been putting in are things like mint, which mosquitoes don't like, but we have a mosquito trap. I've ordered 2 more of those for up near the house, and I don't like it if they get moths, but you can see pigeons settle on it, make a mess on the solar panel. Bird feeders. Now down in this end, I've just topped them up recently, but we've got, I think it's 5 bird feeders here. And there's another one up there. Anyhow, this is a lovely spot to sit and relax, including in the evening, and then the solar lights come on. And of course, a lot of those details will be in the photo trail. Now, where an important bit of progress is, because it won't be long and loads of leaves will be coming down, we needed the space to put things, and we used up a lot of space on the compost heaps, but I've increased the height of the compost heap, so we won't be running out of space for dumping stuff. So most of it are cuttings like rhododendron and stuff like that. Oh yeah, that's the junk area. We'll tidy that up in due course, including being able to access things like the ladder. I may as well show it. It's been on other photo trails, which is, yes, a few key tools are in there, like chainsaws. Shouldn't be misused, of course. And so coming up the garden, right, anybody who's going to do some lovely flowers starting to come up here already. Not sure what all of them are. June's washing line. Now, this hasn't changed much, but it's worth pointing out. Somebody's got to do mow the lawns. Oh, look for a lawnmower. Oh, there's a lawnmower. There's a strimmer. Uses mains power. Yeah, go for around the other side, and there's an extension lead. And I haven't cut that grass for months now. But if I did want to cut it, the whole job, including getting the tools out, mowing it, putting the grass on the compost heap, putting the tools away, well, possibly half an hour, but not much more. Right, we're coming round into the workshop area here. So for example, there's power here with an extension lead. And this was done some time ago, mostly with the help of Paul from Chobham. And so we've got stuff there. And of course, more tidying up could be done to put tools in the right place. So for example, hammers tend to be in the same area, files and everything else, spanners. So that needs to be worked on in terms of work, because at the end of the day you say what's at the top of the priority list, and some things interrupt others. So we're now coming back up, and we should be running into those photo trails soon. This is June's little patch here. I might as well complete it. So yeah, PIR lights come on. That's her greenhouse. Yes, lots of junk here. And come around, sorry about the politically incorrect water tub, that's important to her. That's where the cats can go in and out. This is where the tap is, main tap, and then loads of routes for the water to go to different places. That's where materials, oh yes, that's plastic piping material, wood, and of course various other odds and ends. So working round here, this brings us round to where the dustbins are kept and the at the front. So yeah, you could say this is useful for somebody who wants to case the joint, but I don't think it would be a good idea. Anyhow, so we're about to go into the photo trails, which are just those few days in late September, and so just making sure you see all this. So I haven't really done anything on that, and we're gradually putting things around here into what seems to be the right place. There looks like spare water squirt is to be looked on. You can see what the time is there. You see what the temperature is there. What is that? Coming up to 13 centigrade or something like that. Yeah, the barbecue under there. So gradually it'll get tidied up more, but, and of course we've got fishes in the pond. And where's the water level? Where it's coming up, it's probably within an inch or two of overflowing. There's a depth gauge over there. So at the end of the photo trails, there'll be some material that was shot a couple of years ago, which is on two topics. One is well, global warming, which is very important, of course. In short, it's going to happen and you haven't seen anything yet. And the other thing is Robin's experience with the DVLA, Driver Vehicle Licensing Agency. Anyhow, enough of that. Let's go into those photo trails now. And I warned you, they will be long photo trails. Monday the 15th of September 2025. Yes, Samantha and June went off for a trip in the camper. And yes, I got on with work in the garden, of course. Lots of odds and ends. And yeah, so these photos give you a flavour of what I was doing. Usual things, going down, and usual routine in the morning was things like topping up the bird feeders, topping up the pond, and all sorts of things like that. Yeah, there's the food in the bird feeder, mostly peanuts. That's where we keep the stuff, in that box. And yeah, it's gradually looking a bit better down there. Right, that's probably the women are about to come out and move the cars around so they can get the camper out. Yes, there's Samantha coming out. And so the first thing, they move the cars out onto the road so they've got room to get the camper out. And yeah, she's unplugging the charging cable. It reminded me to start up my car, run it for a few minutes. So they're putting their stuff into the camper ready for the trip, because that cable is what they use down at the campsite. There's Toadie prowling around, watching what they're doing. So, right, so now, yes. Yeah, closing the garage door. And that's probably taken later when they'd actually got down there. And that was the trip. No, it was looking on Google Maps at where they were going and the route down there and roughly how long it would take. Yeah, so they're practically ready to set off now. Yeah. So they're off. So fingers crossed they'll have a safe journey. And that shows you the journey that they were planning to take. And we're tracking them. That was June's white SOS tracker. That's working well, so several times a minute that updates. So I'll leave that on the screen. I'll get on with other things, but just see that they're doing all right. Oh yes, I looked at the weather forecast, and they knew there'd be strong winds. And yeah, so messing around in the garden with various things. Every now and again, checking where they were. Looks like going past Camberley there. Yeah, doing a bit of work on the video. That's the getting ready for that the summer video. Saw one. So yeah, keep an eye on what they're doing, get on with other jobs. And yes, what else we got here? That's one of the videos that I was processing that's going into the summer video. Yeah, check the tracker. Ah, right, looks like that's, yeah, checking that. That's my tracker going on charge. And what's going on now? Well, it looks like I'm off down to the village. Yep, down into the village and into the Flame Kebab. Yes, there we go. That was Istanbul, that picture. Then popped across into the Comrades Club, spent a little while there, and then made my way home. Yes, 22 Armitage Court. I see that Snoopy character needs to be fixed on there, keeps falling off. Yeah, that was video processing. So that's the end of the photo trail. Tuesday the 16th of September 2025. Yes, the highlight was Arancini in the La Sorrentina. There's Adriana on the left, and that was Miguel from Napoli, who would have told him how important arancini were to Inspectore Montalbano. Doctore. Yeah, so here's the photos. Usual thing down the end of the garden. A little bit of checking and tweaking. That's the state it was on that day. So it's coming along. It's mostly tidying up now. And there's I think most of the bulbs are in. Yeah, I'm relaxing there. And yeah, bird feeders needed to be topped up. Yes, there's the 4 candles. And yes, it can't beat relaxing. Yeah, processing a video. That was the summer 2025 video, big one that. And that looks like the women down in Cornwall. And that's the pump which had failed. And yes, lots of things on the go. Lunch at the Blend and Brew, and popped into Thames Hospice, and I came away with those at lovely low price, but lovely glassware. And I thought, yes, I might use that in places in the garden, including to catch water from that little peeing boy number 1, who sometimes splashes over the side of the bowl. Anyhow, back home, yes, probably taking a look. Yeah, that's the yeah, checking lots of things. That's the video. That's in the lounge. And there's those things I got from Thames Hospice. And yes, that's the sort of thing I can do. A bit of experimentation. You sort of do that. Don't know why that's sounding the wrong way. Yes, very low price. £4 for that. That's just an example. And that's looking at where the women are on June's tracker. Oh yes, I thought a bit of experimenting on what you could buy arancini for, if you could get them, other than going all the way to a Sicilian place like Maidenhead or whatever. And of course that sort of information was passed through to Adriano. That was Toady sort of prowling around, and that's down the end. Yes, relaxing again. What next, he says. Oh, that looks like a bit of rain they got down in Cornwall. Okay, where we are though. Right, looks like a walk down to the Blend and Brew in the village. And of course my tracker will show where I am. Anybody can see. So, leaving the house. There's Toady on guard duty. Don't attack me, Toady. Sat on Samantha's car, that was. Past the robot boat. Yes. Into the village. And past La Sorrentina. Ah. Oh, perhaps this was later. Yes, so that was the... I lose track. Yeah, reasonable price for what it was. Quality meal and the atmosphere. Yes. So, right, it's obviously later in the evening now, into the Comrades Club. And back home. And, yes, indoors. Yes, the tracker would have showed work. And there's Tony joining me. Because one of the problems is he sometimes walks about on the keyboard. Right, that's where the women are. And there's the summer 2025 video, still processing because it was a huge video. So that's the end of the photo trail. Wednesday the 17th of September 2025, and the highlight was the get together of old ESAM's colleagues at the Pine Ridge golf course, and Harry Arrowsmith gave me a lift home. And yes, so now the photos in the order that they were shot. Yeah, that summer 2025 video was up on YouTube with subtitles, with automatic translation. That was all going well. Yeah, check June's tracker. That showed where they were, down at Tregarton Park, down in Cornwall. So that was working well. And then looked at my tracker. Yes, shows where I'm at home at 22 Armitage Court. And looked out in the garden, few odds and ends. Yes, little background job. That peeing boy keeps peeing over the edge, so I'll rearrange bits and pieces like that glass work to try and intercept it. Now go down the end of the garden, probably to check the bird feeders and things. Yeah, that's all fine. The stream hasn't had a chance to flow down and top up the pond, so it's at its low point. And yes, there's a bird feeder practically empty, so go to the box with the food in and top up the bird feeders. There's 5 of those feeders down there now, and including that big one, and a few other photos down there. Yeah, the second pond, and making way up to the pond number 1 and the patio. We had a little bit of rain, I think, that day. Not a lot. That was probably earlier before I was up. Right, look at the ESAM's page. And yes, that's got lots of stuff, including old photos. Sadly, of course, as some of those guys have passed away. And then, yeah, looking at... that was the trip to Pine Ridge, 20 minutes or so, from 22 Armitage Court to Pine Ridge Golf Course. Had a bit of a doze to catch up, cat napping or power napping. And text came in from Mascot Cars to say my driver was there. There he was. And he was an interesting guy, and he didn't mind me taking photos, including of him. And yeah, he was from Kashmir. Yeah, so got there okay. And of course, that was a bit before midday, which I planned on going. But when I got there, I thought, have I got the right day? Yeah, look, 12 o'clock and practically empty. And then, of course, people started arriving. So thoroughly enjoyable. Yes, I had a light meal or snack. And yeah, thoroughly enjoyable conversations. Some guys I hadn't had a chance to have chats with many years, if at all. Yeah, so looks as though I'm getting ready to leave now. So a few snaps of the course. And Harry Arrowsmith kindly offered to give me a lift home, and I thought wrongly that he was living in Sunninghill, but it wasn't. Anyhow, so got home. It would have been nice if he was able to stay, but he had to get away. So that was brilliant. And so back into the house, and what's next, he says. Yeah, so that was good. Oh, a little bit of research on Harry, and yes, that was interesting. I won't say more than that. And yes, so in fact it's not far from us. And there's a little robin came down to have a bath in the Socrates Oasis, I think that's called. Yes, working on the video processing, and yes, I had to upgrade to video pad, but That was you get around these problems. So time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. Thursday the 18th of September 2025. Yes, it was pub lunch at the Duke of Edinburgh Woodside, but in the evening it was in La Sorrentina, and yes, enjoyed the arancini, but meeting a new friend, Juba. And yes, so that was quite a highlight. Anyhow, into the photos in the order shot. Yes, that's showing where ladies were down in Cornwall. Yes, little jobs in the garden. Apples coming along nicely. Yes, past the gunnerer and down the end. Usual thing, which is check the bird feeders. Yes, practically empty, so better top those up. Yes, top up with the bird feed, and of course there's 5 bird feeders down there. Yeah, a few snaps around the garden there, down that end, nothing much changed. Yes, little jobs on the side, and decided to set that little practical exam question for Richard. Gave him that pump, asked him to diagnose what the problem was. Right, that's where we were going, the Duke of Edinburgh Woodside, 9 minutes drive, and so I'm practically ready, so I can afford to, yes, coming up to midday, and Stuart normally arrives, yes he does, just after midday, so go out with that little little puzzle for Richard, and yeah, we get to the Duke of Edinburgh, enjoy a meal there, Mike met us, and yeah, and then yeah, Stuart drives chauffeur, past a few landmarks like the old courthouse, and the Wells pub, and the Courts Hall, the Jade, or the Jade Fountain as it was, 3-1 Barbers, the Flame Kebab, and the Comrades Club, coming into Armitage Court, and then home. And so they going for coffee. I joined them after a few minutes of checking things at home, not least things like emails. And oh yes, while about it, just see that anybody could see where Robin was, or where his tracker was. And then of course it's a case of going across the road to Richard and Faye's for a coffee. So I go up there, coffee and a chat for a little while, and yes, back home. And that's the Ring camera, picks up people, and I saw that plant of Jim's been knocked over, but the closed circuit TV showed, no surprise, it was the foxes arguing, and then one of them had knocked it over. So that was on the Swan closed circuit TV, but the Ring camera there wasn't sensitive, so although it picked up some appearances of the foxes, it didn't pick up that particular incident. So great if it can be adjusted. Right, a few snaps in the garden, and oh yes, that because it was a Thursday, the Office of National Statistics had released the graph of total deaths, so I always update that on the COVID page, and also print out a copy. Yeah, looking at the water level in the pond, because I've probably been filling that up. Yes, that's probably at the low point. Yes, the stream is dry, and yeah, and there's the bird feeder. So, crikey, nearly 5 o'clock, and most of that bird feed has gone, even though it was topped up. So, top it up again. Of course, slugs are getting in. I can see where they're coming in. So, bit of material of the right shape, almost anything would stop them. Just a bit of cardboard or whatever at each end of the box, when there's the time to do it. So, oh, wild fennel or fenocchi, which is a good ingredient for the Sicilian dish of pasta con sarde. Well, I'm not sure it's Sicilian or Italian, but right. So it's Sicilian, I think. Down to La Sorrentina. Enjoyed the time there, including with arancini, and that's where I met a new friend. I used the Wi-Fi from next door, and there's the new friend, which was Juba Uden, and that's the end of the photo trail. Friday the 19th of September 2025, and a second day with Juba, and yes, down to the Rajvuj Bangladeshi restaurant and enjoyed the food there and the time, of course, and then back into the Comrades Club. And yes, now the photos in the order shot. Yes, PM Boy number 1 is still overshooting, and so I improvise with a few things there. And got the pump back from Richard, and yeah, it looks as though it works now. Oh yes, processing the video for the day or two before, catching up. Temperature outside nudging 23 degrees centigrade, so not looking too bad. Now, of course, I seem to have some problems still with the video editing and things. Could be all anywhere in the path. That delay is much too long. But not to worry, hopefully get there sooner or later. Yes, now the next picture, wrong mode. That looks as though I was turning a tap off, I think. And yes, rustled up some lunch for myself, as opposed to going down to the village. And listen to the Radio 4 news. Yeah, serious stuff. And then, yeah, process the video for the day before, down to the end of the garden. And look, it had managed to kill a few, I think those are mosquitoes in there. So that's working. Bad thing is, of course, the pigeons tend to poo on it, which isn't very good for the thing. Oh yes, phone calls with was that spelt right? Anyhow, not to worry. Oh yes, I made sure when he arrived, played him that video of the Lumberjack song. Yeah, so we had a good chat here, and yeah, he showed me his YouTube channel with trips in Italy that we knew well. Yes, then down to the Rajvuj, enjoyed my usual there, light meal, and of course chats with guys that we know well. And then in the Comrades Club, I took that picture by accident, but I'm sure Neil won't mind. And yeah, out, and so he had a busy day next day, and so I'm back home, and yes, flatulent fairy outside. See if we can see how the tracker worked. Yes, there's Robin getting back, and that's the end of the photo trail. Saturday the 20th of September 2025. Not many photos, most of those related to, yes, that's Juby meeting me at the Flame at the end of the day, but mostly photos taken to use on WhatsApp, including taken off the screen. And that is basically where he was, not far from us. Well, more importantly, not far from Saskia and Gary. And yes, so a lot of these pictures were taken in order to basically for him and his family. Oh yes, I ate at the Blend and Brew, of course, and in communication with these guys all the time. Popped over to Chapman's. Lovely lady there knew him already, even though the amount of time he's been is small. In the Comrades Club, yes, relaxing basically and in communication. And then met up with me for a few minutes, and then I went over to the Comrades Club and went home. Yes, saw that plant had been knocked over, and when I checked on the closed circuit TV, the Swan CCTV, it showed it was the wind rather than the foxes. Probably better to do that then. Yeah, that's the spot, sorry, the ring camera detecting me coming in. But then I go over and have a look on the Swan closed circuit TV, and I could see exactly when it was knocked over, and it was the wind rather than the foxes. And Toadie joined me, of course, so I tried to get some selfies of Toadie and myself. Not easy. And yeah, so it's getting to the stage of going to bed. So that's it. That's the end of the photo trail. Sunday the 21st of September 2025. lovely get together with daughter Saskia, Gary and Juba. That picture was in the Comrades Club, and he made his application to join the Comrades Club. Yes, and Toadie helped me in the garden. So we now go into the photo trail, and yes, there's Toadie, and so I do the usual business of going around the garden and going down, topping up the bird feeders, and then I noticed, yes, that had run empty. Right, yeah, temperature 13 degrees, so not quite as warm as it has been. And processing of the video for the day before. And yes, I was thinking we might meet up at a pub such as the Duke of Edinburgh, as it was. But anyhow, I went down, guys. I sat outside the Blend and Brew. So hung around in various places, waiting to meet up, and that's me coming back home by the look of it. That's after the time in the village. Yes, anybody could see where I was. Oh yeah, checking where yes, looks like June and Samantha have gone to a different campsite, and yes, that's where it is. But 10 Creek Holiday Park. Oh, Toadie's helping me with checking the electrics, wondering why that yeah, inside there the battery was well charged, so why is there no power getting to the pump? And then I found it. Look at the state of those wires. Terrible state, so not sure what happened there, but that needs to be fixed sometime. So, a few more snaps around the garden. Oh yes, the Spot Satcoms tracker. Now, battery is very low, but that did actually show them where they were. And June's white SOS tracker wasn't charged because she didn't have the white charger for her. That's up the wrong way. Oh yes, that's Saskia and Gary arriving. And yes, Toadie saying hello. And so we're decided now to meet up with Juba. And yeah, he arrives. And then not many pictures taken, but that was at the Comrades Club at the back end. So I get back late. And yeah, put the dustbins out. And Toadie decides to sleep in his box in the kitchen. And they did come into the dance for a little while. So that's the end of the photo trail. Monday the 22nd of September 2025, including some photographs of Montalbano, the important ones being with him and the arancini that I thought, oh yes, and some relevant photos as well. Yeah, I thought Adriano might be interested in putting some of those up on his wall. Anyhow, yes, found the terrible state that one of the pond pumps wiring had got into, probably when the pump jammed, the thing fused. Anyhow, temperature's coming up reasonable, 14 degrees. Yeah, so these are the sort of bodges I was trying on, which I thought would work out, in order to get that particular lead serviceable, but no, I didn't have any joy with it. And yes, looked at those trips. Oh yeah, there's lots of things going on in parallel. Working on that pond pump, trying to get it working, including the one that had broken. Anyhow, that trip to Cornwall was fantastic. I did get time to play. It was a visit to Pam Coughlin, and yeah, pictures. Yes, sorry about that. Three Wise Robins. Air grapes are coming along really nicely. And what else have we got? Yeah, it looks like I'm taking a trip down to the village into the Blend and Brew for a lunch, and popped into the Comrades Club for a little while by the look of it. That must have been late in the evening, because I reckon I could see one of the Charters boys walking back home from school. I say evening, mid-afternoon. Right. Yes, so I ordered more pumps, and that's when I sent those photos that I found by googling Montalbano and Arancini. Mind you, I didn't find them, even though they are up there. Yeah, a few snaps down the end of the garden, and yes, the mosquito, I think that's a new one that's been zapped, but there's still quite a lot around there. And yeah, just some snap from down the end of the garden, then up into the patio area. Look, those flowers are coming up lovely, and it's September. Yes, near sunset by the look of it. Oh yes, Toadie's decided to eat and then go on guard duty. And yeah, I thought that might be a conversation piece with the grumpy old men. Diagnose that other pump. Right, so it looks like I'm off down to the village. Probably going for evening meal into the flame kebab. Yes, picture of Istanbul on the wall. Yes, my usual. And I popped next door and got that birthday card, which I thought very appropriate. And Colin wasn't there, but I gave it to Mick, the barman, to give to him. Yeah, it looks like I'm back home. Yes, tracker shows I am. Yes, Toadie's been dozing in his box. So, that's the end of the photo trail. Tuesday the 23rd of September 2025. The most significant event, of course, was Samantha and June getting back from their camper trip down to Cornwall. And that shows them, be tracking them just as they went past Troy Town and able to make a guess at how long it would take to get back. And in fact, that guess was well aided by the AI system. Anyhow, into the photo trail now. Temperature 10 degrees, what's that? And yeah, nice clear skies. Oh yes, work on the odds and ends, including failed pumps and things. Looks like, yes, processing of the video for the day before, the Monday. And yeah, using the lounge PC for that because of problems with the software and stuff on other ones. Yeah, so that was the Spot Satcoms tracker, and yes, anybody could see that off the contact page. And there's, I thought, check out that Troy Town, and then Google Maps a route from there and how long that would take. So I make a guess. Oh dear, what have I done wrong? Yes, well, obviously something wrong. That was a long, well, I did one thing wrong there, which is the blooming editing on that too long. Yeah, so it was to do with power and wiring, but whatever it was fixed. Now, lots of things here, and of course this could be mistakes in my editing, or it could be what we're using, the system for playing back the stuff, for me to put a commentary on it. Anyhow, that's the bog garden down the end, pond 3. Oh, lovely. That's one of those insects that we found that we disturbed the nest around the back of the right hand side compost heap. I can't remember the name of it now, but they're apparently good for the garden. Yeah, so a few snaps around the end, including that corner where stuff is kept, flowers coming up. Yeah, it's amazing. We're in middle of September and a number of places there's flowers. Oh yeah, so I decided to go down to the village, and that's the purpose of that photograph, I think. Again, very long delay on it, and yeah, into the blend and brew and have lunch. Enjoyed that, and of course any conversations. Popped over to Tesco. Yes, got some milk, so we had plenty of that when they got back. Oh, looks like Charters are coming back from school, so that tells you That's middle of the afternoon. So back home. Oh yes, yeah, Mr. Postman has been. Oh yes, the put the milk in the fridge, and of course that is saying, oh yes, spend some more money changing the filter. Right, 3:30 in the afternoon. Yes, the tracker on me says I'm back. Anybody could see that. And again, rather a long time on that picture. So, looks like I'm off to the village again. Oh no, not. It's to greet them arriving, because we could see. So, yeah. So then they had to move the cars around in order to be able to get the camper in. So they moved the cars out onto the road, and then June brought the camper in, and she did a pretty good parking job. As I was expecting, air wheels, yeah, good enough. But she still shuffled it about. And Toady, of course, all the time he's been sat out on his seat on the rear porch. Oh yes, they did get another one of those little lifeboat teddy bears, I think. Oh yes, I checked the Ring camera. That showed it triggers when people come, or large objects like Bentley. But he's rather careful about coming over now. He did. Yes, he did. I think the camper arriving aroused his curiosity. So yeah, put June's tracker on charge, and of course we weren't able to use that during the holiday because it had gone flat. Listen to the Radio 4 News and something made me laugh. He says some things that make sense, but when he was said that global warming was whatever he used, bullshit or something, yes, how wrong could he be on that, sadly? Be nice if he was right, but he won't be. Yes, there's Toady, and oh yes, that is where the tennis is from, in Beijing, and of course they got the tennis on the television, and yes, so didn't take long to find out where it was, and also Street View, and obviously some places it's rather selective. Oh dear, I'd forgotten to turn the tap off, so the pond has been overflowing and flooding down the end, which it's meant to do if it's lots of rain coming down. Yes, that's the. Yeah, that could be a new one. Mosquito been zapped, and already quite a lot of the bird feeders gone. So that's later in the day. I'm topping up the bird feeders, and that PIR light. No, sorry, solar light comes on as that one does as it gets dark. So at that stage, one of the solar lamps had come on. Looking back up the garden, back into the house, and looks like I'm thinking of going down into the village, into La Sorrentina, and I treat myself to a meal there. Yeah, 7:10. Yes, arancini, and that was I think tagliatelle with salmon. Then across into the Comrades Club for a little while before walking back home, and yes, back into the house. Yes, the tracker will show where Robin was, or is. Time for bed, so that's the end of the photo trail. Wednesday the 24th of September 2025, and yes, perhaps the major event is that solution for peeing boy number 1 with the lovely thing is right, and of course Toady helped me the process of drilling into him and putting a new willy on him. It points down, and of course then yeah, coming up to 5 to 1 temperature, 15 degrees centigrade, and of course some of these pictures there, much too long. Something to do with the editing process or somewhere in the whole system, don't know. And that looks like the video for the day before. And yes, that's one of the materials. Put things back in the right place. That was the brass tubes in the workshop area, and gradually taking shape. Again, don't know why that picture there too long. And put the resin back in the corner of the games room, which at some time might get tidied up. Now, again, every now and again there's a frame there that has got a tremendous delay on it, and I'll probably uncover what it is. And yeah, round the side of the house, turn the tap off, probably. I'd have to look which way around it was. Glance of June's greenhouse. Right, where I'm doing the work, and a filter on the inlet, and that might solve the problem of muck going in and stopping it and possibly jamming it. There was a little birdie there, decided. June's watching tennis from Beijing. Right, that's processing of the video. There's it working in the test tank. Not sure that was probably I took that picture by accident. Anyway, that's good, and Toadie was taking an interest. Not that interested, but more interested in if there's anything to play with. So then I thought, no, what's the best solution there? Yes, I don't need that great big thing there now, because he's peeing into the right spot, down. And temperatures come up a bit, 17 degrees centigrade. June is relaxing, probably playing video card games. So I'm looking at now these sort of little construction details of putting things back so they look decorative, and the pump being hidden. Oh yes, that's putting the commentary on the videos from the day before in the same way that I'm doing it for today, or yesterday. And that looks like June and Samantha back from doing shopping. Toadie taking an interest. I'll have something to eat, he says. Listening to the Radio 4 news. One thing caught my eye was that Huntington's disease, and that it mentioned £2.5 million for treatment. And of course somebody's making a lot of money, but I'm sure you look it up and it's a tiny fraction of that is the actual cost and profitable price. Anyhow, there's me waffling on. Yeah, flowers coming up nicely. Down the end of the garden where most of the work's done, and for the moment I put all those charitable things like glass ornaments and things into that large plastic bowl we don't need. Now it's obviously getting dark after sunset and the lights come on. These are solar lights. There's also PR triggered lights down there as well. And yeah, so that's all working well. And time for bed, I think. No, or not. It's down to the village. Force myself to go down there, and guess where I might be going? Well, choice really, but it has to be La Sorrentina. That's Adriano apparently in that picture. Enjoyed by there, and the arancini, lovely food. And that, I like that cartoon or whatever you call it over there of the Godfather. And I decided to make a little present for June. They got me the takeaway, and yeah, record of the price. And then into the Comrades Club. That's just a brief visit, and then made my way back home. 22 Armitage Court, and yes, let June have a look at. Meanwhile, she was amusing herself, multitasking, playing video games and watching tennis from Beijing. Yeah, and the tracker shows me back, so time for bed. So that's the end of the photo trail. Thursday the 25th of September 2025. Yes, that photo of Toadie is near the end of the photo trail for that day. And so what you'll get now are the photos in the order that they were shot. because sometimes you get a delay much longer. So yes, 14 degrees centigrade, so temperature coming up. And again, I don't know why that picture's there so long. I'm not sure the reason for these delays. It could be the speed of the video being played back, or limitations of the PC that I'm playing it on. Lots of possibilities. Could be a mistake in the video editing, but my suspicion at the moment is the speed of this video being played back and on the little Windows 7 PC I've got. Anyhow, that's down the end of the garden. That's looking up the garden. I took a few photos out in the garden, and that's the sundial that's been there for years. And just checking, yeah, I think it's working about right. That's been there for years on the patio near the top bridge. And going back in and processing of the video from the day before, the Wednesday, and yeah, looking at the closed circuit TV. And of course I was hoping to find out what had knocked over that peanut feeder on the porch. And of course we'd had a power cut during the night, just air place, the power had tripped out. So that had happened during the time that there was no video being recorded. And it flagged up things like perhaps we can improve things. Looks like the live closed circuit TV showed Stuart arriving as chauffeur to take us for pub lunch, going past a few landmarks. To the Beefeater, the Cricketers at Bagshot. Yeah, a little puzzle for Richard if he was interested, but nobody was interested. Anyhow, we all had curry as it turned out, which we quite like, but it's because they didn't have any gas that was being fixed. So getting back home again. Right, so that's on the list of jobs to be done that day. It was done at the back end of the day, and into the house briefly, checking things like emails. Yeah, June out in the garden relaxing, and before, oh yes, and the little peeing boy #1, that's working really well without him splashing and losing water. So then across the road to Richard's and Faye's for coffee and biscuits and chat. Yeah, so we're about to go over there. And Bentley, of course, is prowling around, so I took a couple of snaps of Bentley from lives opposite. And yes, and the robot boat. Only takes a few seconds to take the photo. So it looks like I'm back again. And yes, anybody could see where Robin was on the tracker. He'd been across the road. And yeah, June's in the garden still relaxing. Taking a few snaps because it was a nice sunny day there. Yes, that's all working well. And Toadie's decided to join me. So it's on the patio. Yes, relaxing. Hello, Toadie. Down the end of the garden. I probably left the tap on. Oh yes, the mosquito zapper. I ordered a couple more of those, and they should arrive the next day. I'm recording this on, what day is it? Friday. I decided to put that stuff for mosquitoes, both the treatment and the that stuff, which deters them apparently, somewhere in that cupboard. It's easily accessible, as long as we can remember where it is. I'll turn the power off frequently, driving the pump for that concrete lady fountain. That fix that. Yeah, check the email. Oh, a lovely exchange with Alexei in Russia. Yes, that was lovely. About all sorts of things, including wildlife. Oh yes, and got round to doing that job. So the first thing is, that was the problem, just simply the too flimsy a job with the wire. So picked up the thicker garden wire, did the job reasonably neatly. Yes, watched by Toadie, making sure I was doing it properly. Yeah, so that should be alright. Put things back in the right place. And yeah, so the workshop area. That's it, Toadie. Now I was looking for a container. I couldn't find one of the right size, so best I could find was that plastic pot. That was normally pops into the top. It'd be somewhere, but the other one had disappeared somewhere. June said maybe a fox ran off with it. So now I'm repositioning things around the ring camera, like the little gnome, or one of the gnomes, to try and get that right. And yeah, so that looks about right. It's not obscuring the camera. Yeah, so there's me taking a photo. That looks okay. And June rustled up, I think it was a Chinese stir fry, so I decided to eat at home for a change instead of down in the village. Take it in to eat near the closed circuit TV, and of course Toadie joined me. And then yeah, perhaps I'll take a walk down to the village. And yeah, June's relaxing watching tennis. I go walk down to the village. I was thinking of just going and getting a takeaway at La Sorrentina, and they are 3 arancini. But in fact I ended up spending some time there and forcing myself to have a glass of wine, and then across to the Comrades Club, not for very long, before walking back home to 22 Armitage Court. And June watching tennis, of course. And yes, put that in the right place, which is in the fridge. And yes, anybody could see where I'd been. And there's Toadie joining me. So I know we're getting to the end of the trail. So time for bed. So that's the end of the photo trail. Friday the 26th of September 2025. Yes, Toadie on guard duty looking out the front window. Yes, I took 2 of those pictures. Yes, so it looks like I'm taking a walk down to the village to go to the library. But yes, so the police PCSO meeting didn't happen because the library was closed. Anyhow, into the blend and brew. Juba popped over. He had a chat there. Popped into the Comrades Club for a little while. Then, yes, back home. Didn't take many pictures that day. Old Toadie sleeping on guard duty at the front. Yes, June's watching tennis and looking at stuff on her smartphone. I processed the video for the day before. And yes, interesting chats with a couple of AI systems, checking them out. Oh yeah, getting late. Toadie's eating. And yeah, perhaps I'll go down to the village. And never know where I'm going to eat. But as it happened, I went into La Sorrentina. And yeah, there's the evidence. What I paid for arancini. Lovely. Oh, and a glass of wine as well. Yeah, into the Comrades Club for a little while. Yes, you get pictures of people by accident. And then back home. Yes, 22 Armitage Court. And the robot boat outside. And yes, June's watching tennis. Oh, having a chat with Michelle on the phone as well. And then Toadie comes in, decide to have a supper. Yes, anybody could see where Robin was, or where his tracker was. And then Toadie decided to join me before looking out the window. So, time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. June and Samantha Lovelocks 2025 camper trip to Cornwall. Raw photos and video. Monday 15th to Tuesday 23rd of September. And this last clip is right at the end of the video that you're about to see. And yes, that looks like Donkey's Stover Country Park. So that was on their way back on the last day. And I'll say now that June and Samantha are much too busy to help with this, and so they shot off shopping after June spent much of the morning messing around. I think she was playing cards on her smartphone. Now that looks to me like foy, but it's probably not. If it is foy, that is spelt foy to rhyme with, but to pronounce foy to rhyme with joy, but it's probably not. It's probably somewhere else. But I mean, they're all places I recognise. But now that could be in the Lost Gardens of Heligon, but that's just a guess. And that's an example of a frame which, probably due to my editing this morning, a bit of a rush job with the photos that June passed me, well, and video clips, and you see how long that is there. There's another one. So, and there's Samantha with the giant rhubarb, and well, that needs to be rotated. I'm not sure what that is. That could be coins. Don't know. Right, Latvian log hive, and obviously there's stuff about that, and the video from that will be much later in this because all the photos come first. But of course, yeah, you got various bits of sculpture done out of trees, and looks like little memories of guys. Yeah, lovely looking across this to the sea, because this same sort of material is also on ours. There's Samantha with her smartphone taking some pictures. And that one needs to be rotated. Yes, and that was okay. Yeah, I mean, this video is better than nothing, but and it's all we've got. But at some stage it might get improved. Fairly easy editing process, but Tim Shaw, The Rites of Dionysus. Yes. So Tim Shaw is obviously a sculpture. With some interesting flowers. Yeah. More sculptures and mixture of sculptures and plants. Not sure what that plant is. Somebody will recognise it. And of course, when it's a tall object, it's natural to go into portrait mode, because it'd be very difficult to try and get it in the frame. Now that looks, yes, weren't many pictures there, but that looked like the Eden Project, and that, maybe that's Foy. Oh, Little Pussycat. Yes. Sonic the Cat. And seagulls, where they park the camper. Yeah, so what we got next? They're all places I recognise, but not recognised to the extent of naming them. And of course, anybody playing in their earlier videos, particularly down in Cornwall, would have no difficulty working it out. ED taxis, I don't know if they use those. They might have used the taxi. There's a donkey. Now I'm guessing this might be getting towards the end of the photo trail. Looks as though they're in the New Forest. Ah, they're into the videos. There we go.
I'm not being quite
and
yeah.
Alright, I'll avoid saying anything now, because then you've got the sound from the video if they're saying anything.
Oh.
That's the cat for the eating.
Oh.
Hmm? You know what chocolate picture is? That one that always get pronounces wrong,
Oh, yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah. Right. So we're going to stick to the proper path.
Yeah, I believe.
Right. Hello. Hello, Samantha.
Hello.
Yeah.
Why don't we fill up the boat?
And they must be looking for insects
Yeah.
or something
Yeah.
struggling away through the
Why wouldn't fill up the boat? Why wouldn't
Yeah.
fill up the boat? I said,
Yeah, I know.
why they would not? Why they would
What's that
not
one?
put a lot of people in the boat?
Coming out that side. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
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 Is that maybe like a court?
Mm.
A court.
Hello, Samantha.
They're obviously not afraid of people because they're so used to them.
I warned you they'd be long photo trails, and so let's go back into the house before we run into that material that was shot, as I say, probably a couple of years ago. So I'll start from here. Yes, I quite like that Renoir. Quite a nice, expensive Renoir, isn't it? But yeah, so that's it. Still got tennis on the television. So I think that other material started at about here. Now, what I put on the screen, because global warming is rearing itself, it's something that's been on my grumpy page for years. The remarkable James Lovelock, who passed away on the 26th of July, his 103rd birthday. I'll read out what this says here. This has been on the Grumpy page for years, not long after the publication of his book, Revenge of Gaia. We can't stop global warming, but we may delay it by a few decades to give us time to prepare for its effects. Vast areas of the world, including as close as continental Europe, becoming arid desert, shrinking of habitable areas of the planet to much smaller parts of the planet, closer to the poles. The Earth will then only be able to support a small fraction of its present population, and there will be a need for massive migration. Places like the UK will remain temperate a little longer, so be an attractive destination. We need all world governments to cooperate to prepare for this inevitability. Also to agree things like reduce use of fossil fuels to give us a few more decades to prepare. And then it goes on. The above is not a quote, but how I remember what James Lovelock said in his book, The Revenge of Gaia, etc. That's been unchanged on my site for years. And right, well, the other thing I should mention, yes, retired, happy and spending their kids' inheritance, is for some time now I've not been able to drive due to, well, several mistakes at the DVLA. And what I will say is that I have new evidence of what happened inside the DVLA, which I won't publish yet because I'm still waiting for the reply to the letter which was delivered by recorded delivery to the head of the DVLA and also other people. So I'll put in at the end of this long video the video that's gone up, me talking about the DVLA, and basically in summary it says I don't want anybody to get into trouble, and that is definitely the case, and resigning is too easy. Problems need to be fixed. But quite honestly, that is a minor thing compared with all the other things that are going on in the world, not least wars, and of course what's in the background and very important is global warming. So let's run into that. Back in 2012.
Seen the launch of a transatlantic sailing attempt this morning in a model boat. Retired NATO scientist Robin Lovelock launched his Snoop Loop from Barton-on-Sea towards the Bahamas. It's already been tested over 5,000 miles on a lake in Berkshire. The model will be steered and tracked through a satellite system and by Snoopy, of course, and it should make the crossing in 6 months, if it survives, that is.
The most important thing of the lot, of course, is Snoopy the Viking, the skipper. I don't think he'd make it otherwise. We've also got another bit and piece here. This is a GPS logger that logs the position every 15 minutes. That was back in 2012. The guy that put this material together, including the live broadcast and what went up on the BBC website, is Ben Moore.
I just worried for Snoopy. Sport now and Hampshire.
Right, on to the next topic. Right. Now, I'm going to do this all in one take. All unrehearsed and unscripted, so sorry about that. What I'd like to happen, if anybody picks up on the DVLA story, is, as I say, nobody getting into trouble, and that's a genuine request, but when they find flaws in procedures where they don't cover certain things, be good if those are fixed. What I think would be useful for anybody looking at the DVLA and perhaps helping them is, first of all, their organisation chart showing the structure. Yes, it's well known who the head of the DVLA, remarkable woman, looking at her CV, and relevant to this story is the head of the health part. But it would be very useful to see, even if names aren't attached, obviously the names can be attached where they're public already, is how many people in each branch, how many people are reporting to how many. So a simple tree would help. I suggest that first of all. Then perhaps even more important is how many people working for the DVLA, even if you don't identify the individuals, are salaried by the DVLA excuse me, directly, as opposed to contracted through an agency or a business. That is very important, and we've seen what's been happening in places like the NHS for years. So that comes into the equation in terms of whether money is well spent, and of course the DVLA collects a lot of money. And there are probably other things as well. But as a starting point, I'd hope anybody that responds to this, I can't afford to get overloaded, we've got other things to do, many other things to do, and we'll be taking a holiday, that'll be public, yes. I'm tracked everywhere by different things, and in fact, if anybody's paranoid about it, anybody who's tracking somebody or looking at somebody's probably seen already. But at the end of the day, there's me wittering on, which is one of my main weaknesses since I was a little child. That's why if you put things up, clearly be careful what you put up, and often it can do some good. I'm now in the kitchen, and June's rustling up some food in the microwave for Samantha, and here's Samantha, and of course there's tennis on the television, just for a change. So, oh yes, point out, holidays in we're going off to Sicily again soon, and into the hall. Yes, nice expensive paintings here. Yep, expensive little pocket camera, not expensive. And through into the lounge and out to wrap up this video by saying, look after yourselves, stay safe, and enjoy what days we have.